It's just my fascination and curiosity of why this is the way the system is working. The whole, I feel like the shady part is the system, not necessarily like the music people. Today I wanted to talk about the Korean music industry. I've been so fascinated with the Korean culture, and I recently discovered it through Netflix actually. I saw all these K-dramas and I was like, my god, this is amazing. I never knew this part of the world kind of existed. And taking it all in was so overwhelming. I mean, it wasn't overwhelming, but it was just really fascinating. And as soon as I like kind of get into something, I have to like research about it. Like I'll watch interviews of the people, like kind of Google them, like look at their history, what they're about, how was they come up, and like just things of that nature. And because I was kind of getting into K-drama, I got even more into K-pop, Korean music. It was really good, and all their videos like mostly are so well produced. You see the commonalities, their music obviously, but how all of them are dancers, and not just like dancers, but like amazing dancers, you know, like really professional dancers. They'll look good or whatever. Their music videos are so highly produced. It's a movie, at least most of them. It takes days for like production and like then post-production, all sorts of things. And I was really fascinated, so I kind of like dug deeper into it, watched interviews on YouTube of the how does it come about, what are behind the scenes and things of that nature. And the more I found out about it, the more weirdness I felt like I was noticing in the music business. All the musicians, they're called idols. That's a whole nother issue. It's like calling people idols. I feel like calling people idols is like, you know, she's an idol. It's kind of putting people on a pedestal, and especially with musicians and, you know, artists, a lot of young people look up to them. So now these idols are people you're supposed to look up to, right? That's what an idol means. That's the definition of like ideal, like perfect or whatever, right? So how the process goes about is you become a trainee before you debut. It's like before you come out your first public appearance as a music group or as an artist, you're a trainee. That means you're in the process of training, learning dancing and taking singing classes and like just being in the whole training camp. Now this whole music business industry is run by agencies, which is okay. You have agencies running music businesses, but it's so much about like all these trainees go into these agencies and they practice for like years. The rules within the agencies are kind of funny, and I felt like these were just rumors, and I'm talking about the majority. Obviously, the more I got into it, the more it seems shady. Things like there are such strict rules. It's like a weird disciplinary hostel where these guys are like being monitored for their every move. Something like, you know, their phones are being checked. Like they're not supposed to, like the guys are not supposed to date the girls, because as an idol, you have all these young girlfriends, and if you have a girlfriend, that kind of fantasy of this is not torn, girl, this is fashion. Anyway, I'm just kidding. What I'm saying is, so these guys are not supposed to date girls, at least like publicly, because it will ruin their whole image as an idol. And the girls are apparently not allowed to date guys, the same reason, so that they date like super in private. And I feel like these are their prime years, right? So obviously like you kind of meet people and you fall in love and you date, like that's kind of the one part of kind of lying. I don't know. Then the next thing is their eating thing. What they eat is monitored to such an extent for girls, and their weights are being checked. They're not allowed to put on weight and things of that nature. I don't know. The more I'm hearing about it, their cell phones are being checked. That's like weirdly invasive of your privacy. Just weird shit like that, right? Forget about that, alright? Like putting that aside, the next thing is, alright, you have all this talent, you practice for all these years, and then there are these people who kind of call the shots, which is like, I guess back in 40s, 50s, when you had these record labels and they had say what song you debut, they had say who debuts, you know, like who is on the come up, who are they gonna kind of put up, who are they gonna put behind, who has more of a part in a music video, or who has more of a part in a song and things like that. There are these people calling the shots for artists, and I feel like the major problem I see is that there's an artist and then there are the listeners, which is the community. But then between them, there's this big middleman kind of a thing, this huge agency that plays, not plays, they actually do kind of play with your fate. I don't know why that is still a thing. Like, Now with the internet, you have SoundCloud, you have Spotify, it's all free. You just make music and then you put it on. And that's how so many artists got their breakthroughs, because there was no middle person kind of saying that, you know, like, yes, we'll put you on, or things of that nature. There's just you. If your music is good enough, you put it on, people like it, like, you're good. And if you like suck, then, you know, you work hard or whatever, right? You suck, right? There's no one like saying yes or saying no, or kind of controlling your life for you. With the internet, you know, like, if you got it, like, you got it. But you know, of course, like with people like Post Malone, and he was the one who had his song discovered on SoundCloud. There's so many, you see these SoundCloud rappers, you think about them, that they emerge. And the reason people really fuck with them is because they're so authentic, they really like them, and then they connect with the artist. So the reason the artist is successful is because he is talented, is because the audience really fucks with him. Here, it's such a different thing. Like here, if the agency likes you, if these men who are calling the shots, they like you, that's when you have a chance. And mind you, like, these trainees are training for years. First of all, the whole idol thing, right? Like, you put these people on the pedestal, idols, right? The ideal people or whatever. You have all these young people looking up to them. And that's not even them, because the agency is forcing them so much to act like a certain way, be a certain way. So that's kind of a fake version that you see and idolize that version, which is not even the truth. I love Korean music. I love the artists. But it's just my fascination and curiosity of why this is the way the system is working. I feel like the shady part is the system, not necessarily like the music people. The music, like, I love it. Like, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it was just a genuine curiosity that the Korean music industry seems to be really working backwards. I don't know if it's even healthy for the artists. I really don't know, you know, like, kind of portraying this perfect life with no mistakes and shit like that, and then deep down that they're a whole different, I'm not saying a whole different person, but then there's a good chance of them being such a different person and actually making mistakes and dating and, I don't know, doing all sorts of things. So much for the artist. Like, you know, if you're actually talented, why would you want to become a trainee and do all of this, where you can, like, just kind of work hard? And it's kind of, if your music is good, all you have to take care of is marketing. And now you don't need an agency, you don't need a record label to put you on. You can put yourself on because of the internet. You can just put all your music on SoundCloud, Spotify, and things of that nature and market it. So much of it is spoken about, obviously, like Gary, because I consume so much of his content. I hear him speaking. He's in meetings with so many hip-hop artists, and the way he speaks to them, you know, he's like, all you've got to do is, like, just work hard. If you're good enough, you're gonna be put on. Something like every single day put out music. Every single day. And it's just like with music, you just need like one song to kind of hit, and then your whole life potentially changes, right? I don't know, it just made me like, I'm learning so much about business, and I feel like I've invested a lot of time like just learning about marketing and things of that nature. I feel like I know how to do it. It's just that execution is a whole nother game, right? I've learned from Gary, I've learned from business people who've already built businesses, right? So all these are things that are tried and true. It's just a matter of execution. That's the whole game. Like, can you execute it properly? It makes me really want to manage a Korean artist, because I see there's some amazing people and they probably don't get a chance as trainees or as whatever. And this is a whole different world of the internet, and I don't understand how can there be so many middlemen in the whole system, from an artist to his music to the audience. And I was really fascinated by it, so I just kind of wanted to put that on. I mean, I know stuff in brief, but all the things that I heard were in kind of interviews with already a K-pop artist or a trainee, just kind of speaking about the system. I really wonder, like, why are there so many middlemen? Why can't just kind of people do it on their own? You know, if you have your music, you put it on SoundCloud, you put it on Spotify, and then you brand yourself, whether it's through vlogs, like it's just a matter of work, right? Like Gary talks about building a personal brand, and my personal brand will trump everything. I feel like a personal brand is another name for opportunity, right? He speaks about personal brand is another name for reputation, and that's right. You know, once I have so many followers, that's kind of the validation from the market or so many views, if my content is performing well, that's kind of a validation from the market. Market as in the internet, as in the audience. Market as in like people who potentially kind of generate your revenue by paying for something of yours. That's why brands deal with influencers, because all this audience are kind of potentially their customers. As not just if you just put your music up on places like SoundCloud and Spotify and YouTube, and on the back of it create your personal brand, which is either putting on vlogs, writing, starting your own podcast. So when you start building this audience, those are your potential listeners. And if you're good enough, you just need that one person, you could say, to find you, or even not that, like you can get paid through so many different income streams, which is brand deals or Google AdSense or doing your merch or selling your music or whatever. So I was really fascinated about the fact that now we're in a world where we have so many opportunities. So why are people buying into this whole idea of signing with agencies? So I felt like that was an interesting thought, and I really wanted to speak about it because I was like, what? I could manage an artist. I generally feel like I love music and I'm not a singer, but I'm really passionate about the industry and really been studying and learning about it. And I feel like I'm a people's person, and it's my intuition that I work with people the best. Therefore, I generally feel like I'll be a good manager or whatever. Definitely I'm gonna try. Just with this thought, I thought I'll try to connect with, it's necessarily Korean, like any artist for that matter of fact. And because I'm building my personal brand, they build their personal brand, and we somehow like together try to market that person. It's all about marketing, right? So anyone who consumes Gary obviously knows how to market. It's just a matter of you executing on that strategy. This video is the most random shit ever, but I really can't gather my brain around this. Like, how come a country which is so forward is so backward? I don't know. These people are young, they have so much to give as a person, and the fact that they spend all these years in being a trainee, and I mean, it doesn't even guarantee like you'll get some crazy success. Instead of like working hard there, if you kind of try to work smart, like know your end goal, what is it that you want to do? You want to make music, you want people to listen to it, and then kind of work backwards. The value I can provide today is that any artist or any business person, like just watch GaryVee. I genuinely feel like he's a marketing genius, and anyone who's into business, his whole business is about building businesses. The VaynerMedia, he has all these businesses, they pay him a certain fee, and then he kind of builds their businesses, increases their revenue and markets it. And he's putting all that content out for free on an everyday basis. Like literally, he has this meeting called 4Ds. No, Digital Deep Dive. Yeah, I think it's called 4Ds. And I believe that I heard every client in that meeting kind of is paying 12,000 for a day to come to that meeting or something of that nature. And then we get to witness that for free. For free. I mean, I don't know why anyone would not take advantage of that and really like kind of run with the wind with that information, with those instructions. And it's not coming from like some random person, like, let me tell you how to build a business, buy my $4,000 course, but it's actually coming from someone who's generally built time and time again businesses, who's currently building businesses, and who's also such a great person. So I feel like you just can't go wrong with him. And he's also been so historically correct about things time and time again. We've witnessed that. So I feel like his intuitions, his advices, they work. Anyone who's trying to do anything must listen to him and really not just consume his content, like listen to it, but actually consume it and actually take those instructions, actually work on those executions and see how things play out. So it doesn't matter when you're an artist, you're a business owner trying to get clients, or even if you just got out of college and you have no fucking idea what you have to do, watch GaryVee. That's all for today. This is a random video. I'm not sure if it's gonna provide a lot of value to a lot of people, but just an interesting perspective on things. And this is all what Daily D is about, I believe. It's like just kind of, I'm sharing my perspective on things I'm witnessing. The whole podcast is about building community and things of that nature. So it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. We're trying to build this community of people who are building their personal brands, and people are going to grow together. So I'm not looking for anyone who's already like successful in the social media space, but everyone from the ground up to build together. But this community that we're trying to build, like it's open to all, whether it's artists, whether it's a designer, whatever, right? Everyone's trying to build a business around themselves, around their interests. It's all gonna happen from grabbing the people's attention, creating content, and stuff like that. So thank you for watching. Bye.
She wanna spend the night, but she can't spend the night. She wanna be my wife, but she can't be my wife. Yeah. She said she hate when I go. She want me to stay. Wish I didn't have to leave so soon. It's too late. I'm already on the first flight out to the door. My phone doesn't work.